Right, good afternoon everybody and welcome back to another edition of Thai Talk with Dan, the channel where we share all of your Thailand stories. Today we have a story from a subscriber who wants to share about his experience, his full experience, dating 3 different Thai women. So, without further delay, let's jump in to today's Thailand story. Hey Dan, I've been watching you for 1.5 years. I found your channel after breaking up with my then second Thai girlfriend, which should have been my last. I know the tactics of these ladies, but they tend to find a way, one way or another. Please allow me to tell you my full experience with 3 different Thai women. So, I first came to Thailand in 2017 with a friend. We flew to Bangkok and enjoyed the vibrant nightlife and parties the city had to offer, until we were ready for some sunny days where we headed south to the islands. Our trip was rather short but packed with a lot of adventure and fun. Yes, we also had some fun times with the girls at the bars during the trip.
Sexy time. Yeah.
Now going back to the boring life at home, my mind wouldn't stop thinking about going back to Thailand. I saved up some money and 3 months later I found myself on a plane back to Bangkok. From Bangkok I quickly boarded a plane south and spent some time on a beautiful island on the east coast of Thailand. Enjoying the days at the beach, eating good, and in the mood for some flirting, I installed the dating app Tinder. And I found myself matching with a lot of girls very quickly. From these girls there was one that stood out. She was 22 years old and looked absolutely stunning. We met for lunchtime, took a walk and spent all our time together until dinner. I was 26 at the time and freshly out of an 8-year relationship with a lady from my home country. I was very happy being with this girl, let's call her Pam, and asked her to spend time with me the next day, exploring the island. She willingly accepted the request and we met the morning after. She looked stunning and with a very sexy beach outfit, we were ready to go to the waterfall and spend some time swimming and exploring each other as well. Here we are already getting very close to each other. We went out for lunch. After I invited her back to my room to get changed and hang out more, you might have guessed it, it led to an amazing bed gymnastics session. After we spent the evening on the porch talking and getting to know each other more, I felt good being with her and I asked her to join my trip to another island for 3 days. She told me she was working at her friend's bar and would need to lie to her. She said this because she is not allowed off without paying the owner a fine. I found this very weird, but was thankful that she wasn't asking me to pay this for her. The 3 days went by extremely quick, and after arriving back she told me she would quit her work and needs to go back to her hometown soon. I didn't think anything of it at the time and was happy to see her getting away from the bar job. I asked her if she wanted to spend the last 3 days of my holidays with me, which she happily accepted. My vacation was now coming to an end and I was very sad having to leave her behind. She brought me to the airport and sent me off. I gave her my last Thai baht in cash, which was around 10,000 baht, and left promising to keep contact and see her again soon. I arrived home absolutely devastated, and I was sad being back to work alone, not in a beautiful country with a beautiful girl anymore. We talked daily over video call, and I borrowed money and flew back only 1 month later because my feelings and mind were driving me insane. Now, it was an amazing reuniting. We instantly were back like we were never apart. I started to plan my life with this girl, debating my options to invite her to my country at some time. Well, being aware how women from these countries operate, she didn't seem interested in leaving though. She loved Thailand, and I understood it is a very beautiful place. We spent a quick 9 days together, where she also arranged to meet her mother, who was working in a factory in Bangkok. This meeting was very strange, as the mother did not speak a word of English, and they both basically talked about me while I was just sitting and smiling. It came time to pay, and I invited them. We walked away from the restaurant when my girlfriend asked if I can give her mum 2,000 baht. She said it was for food for the family. I shortly hesitated, but then I just accepted to buy the food, which she chose KFC, and she quickly ordered the biggest amount of chicken I have ever seen, totaling to just about 2,000 baht. She headed off with the chicken, and I headed off with mine. Time absolutely flew in Thailand, and I had started to plan to invite her to visit me in my country. This included her having to get a job or education, which should have led to a job after. I supported her efforts in becoming a manicurist and beautician, which cost me around 60,000 baht. I was sure to take receipts, flyers, and other price information material to confirm everything beforehand. It seemed legit. She went there for about 5 days until she then stopped attending, and then the next thing I know, she is back in her village. After asking her what is up, the answers were murky to say the least. I read between the lines. This work was too hard for her. I tried everything I could to give her a motivational boost, even showing her what she could be earning in my country if she had the certificate. However, nothing helped. My frustration grew from day to day, as I was supporting her financially during the time with around 20,000 Thai baht per month, and she didn't do anything but lay in a hanging mattress in her hometown. I tried to be understanding, as I thought she might be overworked from the bar, and I gave her some breathing time. Nothing helped, unfortunately, and my resentment towards her grew. We were connected on Facebook, where I would notice remarkably older men commenting on her photos. This was always something I told her to fix, but she just shrugged it off, telling me it's just online. What do I care? Later, I saw one of these guys who also was sending her money monthly when I stumbled across a post she had made with a Western Union slip in the background with his name. This is when I realised she's just in for some quick cash. I called her and broke up the relationship. It hurt me a lot, but I was sure it was the right thing to do. 2 weeks later, she became an OnlyFans model after realising that I was really gone. So, my life passed on. My wounds turned into scars, and I dated a few other girls back in my home country. However, 2021, I decided to travel to Thailand again during the Corona time, where we needed to present a PCR on arrival, and after 1 week do a PCR there. I spent time in Bangkok and also used Tinder again, getting to know some girls and go on some dates while I was there. I met a girl called Lisa. She was 26, only a few years younger than me at the time. She was working for a big company in Bangkok selling construction materials. She seemed very well mannered, classier and better educated compared to the first. I was impressed. We saw each other a few times while I was in Bangkok, and then I flew to Phuket to meet a friend and have some nights out. On the day of our mandatory test, we woke up with the strong corona symptoms. My friend had booked a flight back home immediately. He warned me that I would be put in quarantine and then brought home after. We both didn't want to risk this, and therefore we flew off. I informed Lisa because initially we planned to meet back up after I came back to Bangkok from Phuket. She offered to meet me during my transit this day at the Bangkok airport. Despite my warnings, I met her and we both extremely glad to see each other. Despite my warnings, she didn't care of being infected and kissed me many times. I travelled home and my symptoms got worse. I arrived back with full-blown corona, feeling terrible. I phoned Lisa. She had also developed symptoms at that time, and eventually we both got corona sick. We kept video calling daily for 3 weeks while we both had corona. I made plans to visit her again when I recovered, which was around 3 to 4 weeks later. This time, I only stayed for a week, and we visited Phuket together and really grew tight. We talked about my country, and she always said she loves Thailand and doesn't want to live anywhere else. I understood, but didn't have a solution at that time to live in Thailand. Until one day, while we are on the beach, I open my newsfeed and a message hits me like a greeting from above. Thailand would legalise the plant with C coming next year. I looked at her and instantly decided if this happens, we'll be the first to open a shop on Phuket. I went back to my country and back to my desk job. She went back to hers. We kept video calling daily. I worked in sales and grinded for 1 year straight to save up the funds until one day she called excited and told me it's happened. I went to my boss and told him I would be leaving to live in Thailand as I was the #1 seller in this company. He tried everything to keep me. At the end, he gave me a laptop, phone and told me as long as I sell, I can live where I want. At the same time, Lisa quit her job and we planned to live together on Phuket. So, I sublet my apartment, packed all my personal belongings, took my last bit of savings and went to meet Lisa on Phuket, where we rented a condo long term and looked to open up a C shop as quickly as possible. We found a nice spot. I invested all my time and effort into getting the place open ASAP, and within a week, business was up and running. She was in sales and did a great job. People absolutely loved her. Naturally, being one of the first, business was great. My initial investment returned within only 2 weeks, and I looked for another shop to rent. She helped find staff, and it actually worked out amazing. Now before, whilst working in Bangkok, she was living with her aunt and niece, making just about 16,000 baht monthly. She also had to contribute to costs of living. I had offered her 25,000 baht and free accommodation, food and drink. But after a few weeks, she started asking for more, explaining that the rent contract and license is in her name and she has to face the risk if anything happens. I explained I brought the money, idea and efforts to open and didn't agree with her wish, as I would be using the money for our future anyway, which I kept safe. Now weeks passed and she mentioned this topic a few times on the side. I kept repeating, also asking what she needs money for. Her answer, just to keep. I told her, don't worry, I'll keep it for us. She was always angry and showed me the cold shoulder then. This went a few days even, until it was out of mind. The arguments got bigger and she brought up her mum a few times, mentioning her mum also thinks she is underpaid and being used by me. I told her to stop working if she feels like that. I would still pay her 25,000 baht because she holds the papers. She got more and more argumentative over even the smallest of things, and it would sometimes end in the cold shoulder treatment. Other times in full-blown arguments with heated screaming from both sides. The business kept running good and I had opened 3 shops and just signed the 4th lease. We also just moved into a house with our new puppy and I was full of energy to expand because I saw how much potential there still was at that time in this market. Our arguments over petty reasons continued and worsened. One day she came to me heated and dead set, telling me she wants 100,000 baht monthly or she will cancel the leases. Once I heard that, I somehow woke up from my dream and instantly told her to get the F out of my life. I called a lawyer and tried to save my businesses. He understood the severity of the matter instantly and he got to work. The same day, he had sent a binding contract for her to sign an agreement to transfer all the leases and licenses to my company, which he was simultaneously forming. She didn't want to sign without a battle. She asked for 500,000 baht to begin with. I am a good negotiator and ended up getting the signatures on this paper for only 15,000 baht, also in part because she knew how many more papers there actually still are coming. When all of her documents were ready and all we needed is just her last signature, they blocked asking me again for 500,000 baht. I filled a bag with the money and met her in a restaurant with the papers in my hand. She asked if I had the money, which I showed her in my bag and told her to sign the papers. After her initial hesitation, I insisted, how does she expect I give her the money if she hasn't signed for it? So, she quickly signed. I took the papers, stood up and left, chuckling at her insults and leaving her a smile while I walked away. I had won, but still my heart was broken. I was left with 4 businesses and a lovely dog to take care of by myself on the other side of the world. Now, being a shareholder entails nothing much apart from collecting dividends, so my day was pretty much free. I spent some time with friends, went out daily and tried to escape my hurt feelings from what Lisa left in my heart. Right guys, if you're interested in part 2 of this subscriber's story, then please check out the description in this video or the pinned comment down below and watch part 2. Apart from that, ciao for now. Bye bye.